Activity number 2. The Trial of Jose Rizal. Group members Vic Cartuano, Bea Casimero, Queenie Balier, Arzel Jan Bagyoro, and Kim Kabantug. Rizal's exile. Jose Rizal's arrival in Manila on June 26, 1892 had become very sensational among the Filipinos. His popularity feared the Spaniards and such paid careful attention to his move, while every houses where he had been searched and Filipinos seen in his company were suspected. As he had planned on July 3, 1892, he founded the La Liga Filipina in the house of the Tateo on Junco in Tondo, Manila. Four days after the civic organization's foundation, Jose Rizal was arrested by the Spanish authorities on four grounds: for publishing anti-Catholic and anti-friar books and articles, for having in possession a bundle of handbills and the Pobres Frailes in which advocacies were in violation of the Spanish orders, for dedicating to his novels El Filibusterismo to the three traitors, Gomez, Burgos, and Zamora, and for emphasizing on novel's title page that only salvation for the Philippines was separation from other country, referring to Spain. July 17, 1892, Rizal together with his guard Captain Ricardo Carnicero arrived in Dapitan. Rizal was given the choice to live in the house of the parish priest, Father Antonio Aubac, or at Carnicero's house. He could live in the priest's quarters only if he publicly retracted his Masonic anti-search, he regularly participated in church rites, or he conduct himself as good Spanish subject and a man of religion. Life in Talisay. Both men betted on lottery and won 20,000 pesos with a lottery ticket number of 9736, wherein he used his money to build an octagonal house made up of bamboo and nipa in Talisay. Rizal built a school and accepted students with no tuition. The other part was used for his eye clinic. Here is the photo of his winning ticket. On May 4, 1893, Carnicero was replaced by Captain Juan Sitges. He did not want living with a deportee. He assigned Rizal to live in a house near the headquarters. The Jesuits sent his old professor at the Ateneo, Father Francisco de Paula Sanchez, to enlist him back to the church. He helped clean up the plaza of the Pitan and lit up that night coconut oil lamps. He then fell in love with Josephine Bracken. And here are their photos, Capitan Sitges and Father de Paula Sanchez and Josephine Bracken. Rizal and Josephine tried to have themselves married in Catholic rites, but Father Aubac required that Rizal needs to retract his beliefs. His relatives and friends looked at Josephine with suspicion and condescension. Pablo Mercado, a spy of the friars, posed as Rizal's relative. Florencio Namaan, which is his true name, Piola Valenzuela as an emissary of Andres Bonifacio. He was asking for advice on how much to launch a revolution. While Rizal objected to the projected revolution, the revolutionaries must have enough arms and weapons. The end of the Pitan exile. When in Cuba was under revolution and raging yellow fever pandemic, Rizal wrote to Governor General Ramon Blanco offering his service as a military doctor. Governor General Ramon Blanco approved the request of Rizal on July 1, 1896. At the midnight of that day, he left aboard the steamer Spania. The townspeople of the Pitan wept because they considered Rizal as a good son and neighbor. He stayed in the Pitan for 4 years, 13 days, and a few hours. August 6, 1896, upon arriving in Manila Bay, Rizal was not able to leave immediately for Spain since the vessel Isla de Luzon already left. He was transferred to Spanish cruiser Castilla and stayed there for a month from August 6 to September 2, 1896. August 19, 1896, the Katipunan plot to overthrow the Spanish rule by means of revolution. It was discovered by Father Mariano Hill after Teodoro Patino's disclosure of organization secrets. At that time, Katipunan was already discovered and the Philippine Revolution was already raging. August 26, on the same year, Bonifacio de Katipunan raised the cry of revolution in the hills of Balintawak, a few miles north of Manila. In the afternoon, Governor Blanco proclaimed a state of war in the first 8 provinces for rising arms against Spain. He transferred the Isla de Panay, which was sailing for Barcelona, Spain. Don Pedro Rojas advised Rizal to stay and take advantage of the protection of British law. Trial arrest. September 30, the Isla de Panay had already sailed past port, said in Egypt, and was now sailing in the Mediterranean. A telegraphic message was received ordering that Rizal be placed under arrest. Bernardino Nozaleda, Archbishop of Manila, who clamored for the arrest of Rizal, who was said to be the spirit of Philippine Revolution. October 3, Isla de Panay arrived in Barcelona and Rizal was sent to a prison fortress, Montjuich Castle. Rizal's interview with Dos Despujol, he would be shipped back to Manila. One night on the same day after the interview, Rizal was taken aboard a column which was loaded with Spanish troops sailed for Manila. Dr. Antonio Maria Regidor and Sixto Lopez, they exerted all their efforts to find a lawyer in Singapore who could aid their friend. Attorney Hugh Fort, an English lawyer in Singapore. Unfortunately, Chief Justice Lionel, the judge in Singapore, denied the request. In November 3, 1896, the column arrived in Manila Bay and Rizal was taken to Fort Santiago. On November 20, 1896, Rizal was brought before a Spanish military tribunal headed by Colonel Francisco Olive. Oral testimonies were taken and were used to implicate Rizal in the Philippine Revolution. Governor General appointed Captain Rafael Dominguez to institute charges against Rizal. Lieutenant Luis Tavial de Andrade, the lawyer of Jose Rizal and brother of his former bodyguard Jose Tavial de Andrade, on December 3, the case was forwarded to Governor General Camilo de Pulovieja, replaced of Governor Blanco. Rizal's actual trial began on December 26, 1896, and it was held in the Hall of Baroners of the Cartel de España in Fort Santiago. Rizal was charged with 3 crimes: rebellion, sedition, and formation of illegal associations. In defending himself, Rizal presented 12 arguments. The court judged Rizal guilty for the charges and voted for death penalty. On December 28, 1896, General Pulovieja signed Rizal's death warrant ordering him to be shot at 7 o'clock in the morning at Bagong Bayan. Rizal signed it saying that he was innocent. Execution. Rizal's final days. Rizal was transferred to the prison shape. Father Miguel Sadera Mata, rector of the Ateneo Municipal, and Father Luis Viza brought the image of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. Father Antonio Rosell, he ate breakfast with Rizal. Lieutenant Tavel de Andrade also arrived, and Rizal thanked him for his gallant services. Father Balaguer, he remained with Rizal around noon, wherein after 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Father Balaguer returned and tried to persuade Rizal to retract his Masonic beliefs, but Rizal remained firm. After he left, Rizal's mother and sisters arrived. Rizal gave an alcohol stove to Trinidad, which was a gift from Pardo de Tavera, and whispered to her in English, "There is something inside." He also told her to look inside his shoes after he is executed. After his family left, Fathers Villa Clara and Balaguer again arrived to convince Rizal to retract. By 8 in the evening, Balaguer returned with Father Visa and again talked with Rizal on religious matters. At this point, they were joined with Fiscal Gaspar Castaño of the Royal Audiencia. At around 10, a draft of retraction arrived from Archbishop Bernardino Nozaleda. Another draft of retraction was made by Father Pio P. At 11:30, Rizal signed his retraction from the Freemasonry, and it was witnessed by Juan del Fresno, the chief of the guard detail and the adjutant of the Plaza El Roy Moro. After singing, Rizal had confession with Father Villa Clara and rested afterwards. At 5 a.m., Rizal had his last breakfast, autographed his remaining books, which became his last souvenirs. Father Balaguer, he performed the marriage rites of Rizal and Josephine. Rizal gave a book to Josephine, Imitation de Cristo by Tomas Kempis, which he autographed. Afterwards, he wrote 3 farewell letters to parents, Dr. Blumentritt and Pasiano. At around 6:30, Rizal was taken from cell and the march to Bagumbayan began. A colonel took Rizal to the site of his execution. Rizal had requested the firing squad to spare his head, which was granted. He also requested to be shot at his front, but it was denied. Dr. Felipe Ruiz Castillo took Rizal's pulse and found that it was normal. The commanding officer ordered his men to aim by means of his sabre, and there was a simultaneous crack of gunfire, and Jose Rizal made one last effort to drop on his back, facing the sun. The Spanish spectators shouted "Viva España!" The military band played Marcha de Cádiz. Rizal's body was secretly buried in Paco Cemetery, where later it was traced by his sister. The remains of Rizal were cleaned and in Higino Mercado's house in Binondo and were taken to Doña Teodora. His remains were laid to rest inside the Rizal Monument in Luneta. On December 13, 1896, Dr. Jose Rizal, the greatest man of the Malayan race, was shot to death at Bagumbayan on the accusation of political conspiracy and sedition and rebellion against the Spanish government in the Philippines. And here was the photo during his execution. I wish to show those who deny us patriotism that we know how to die for our country and convictions, by Jose Rizal. And here is Rizal's route from Dapitan, Cuba, Barcelona, Manila, Fort Santiago to Bagumbayan. Salamat sa panonood, Pag-asa ng Bayan.